this computer. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, we're going to get started. And Loretta is going to start us off with a prayer because we always start off our calls with prayer. So Loretta, start us off and then I will jump right in.
All right, dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this time, Lord, that we have to come together. Thank you so much for what you put on Aubrey's heart that she's going to share with us. I pray that we would glean wisdom from it, Lord, and that you would help our businesses to grow and just help us to get closer to you, closer to each other. Thank you so much for this business, for our friends, for our family, Lord, for the opportunity to help other women and men and just to get healthy. Thank you so much for your son, Jesus. In his name I pray. Amen.
Perfect. Thank you. I said sweet and short little prayer. Thank you, Loretta. So I'm just going to jump right in because I know that it is a Monday night in December, which means that there are a million other things you could be doing right now. Some of us couldn't be eating though, because we're on the reset. So if you see me sipping, I'm sipping my Restore. It's an amazing, a bunch of us are resetting tonight. So, but there are still other things you could be doing, like wrapping or putting up lights or whatever. So I'm really thankful that you're here tonight. And I'm glad that, that whoever invited you. Maybe it was me. I don't know. But somebody that loves you, that you love, invited you to check this out. And so I'm really excited to be here with you tonight. And they said to you, hey, maybe what I'm doing could be an answer to prayers for you. I don't know, but come check this out. So I'm just really glad that you're here with me. And I want you to know my goal tonight is not to persuade you that this is something for you. It's not to convince you that you should do what I'm doing. Because guys, honestly, if you had told me 8 years ago that this would be what I was doing, I would have laughed at you and thought you were crazy. There was zero part of me that ever wanted to be a social marketer or even really knew what that was, or even to be a salesperson. So I'll tell you a little bit about me real quick. My name is Aubrey Guerin. I've been married to Jeremy Guerin for 20 years. He is a youth minister, pastor. We have 2 kids with special needs. Finley has autism, so I'm all about autism awareness. I'm a CPA, certified public accountant by trade. And I tell you that because I want you to realize that I wasn't a salesperson. In fact, I'd never sold a single thing. I was really bad even at selling the candy bars that you were supposed to go sell for band. Like my parents ended up buying most of them because I just wasn't great at selling. I want you to know that it definitely wasn't something that I was considering, but here I am. And I want you to know that that skepticism that you're probably feeling, the limiting beliefs you feel like could hold you back, I just want you to know it is normal. You are normal. Maybe I'm not normal. I don't know. But I want to start by telling you that whoever invited you tonight, just know that they were probably a little nervous and they were probably a little scared to risk you thinking that they were nuts. But it's okay. They were willing to risk possible rejection by saying, hey, would you come be a part of this? Just know that they love you a ton. Even if you're watching the recording, just know that they were willing to risk rejection. But they love you a ton, and that's why they invited you here. So you are welcome here if this is something you absolutely believe you would never do. You are welcome here if you know somebody that has made network marketing look very slimy, spammy, salesy, awful. You're welcome here. If you've done something like this before and you've lost money, if you've lost credibility, if you've lost influence, you are welcome here. My goal is not to convince you that this is for you. I have no idea if this is for you or not. I mean, I believe anybody can build this, but I also believe not everyone will, because what we do, it can be hard work. What we do requires a willingness to put yourself out there and face possible rejection. But guys, as someone who's on the other side of this and still building, I would tell you it has been completely worth it, if not just for the beautiful faces I see on here today. The community is truly one of a kind. The income is one of a kind. So my goal tonight is just to address some common objections that I see people thinking, that people think, well, this is going on in my life and I don't think I could ever be successful because of this. So I'm going to hit on some of the main things that I thought could hold me back in the beginning, and some of the things I hear all the time from people about why they can't be successful in this. But before I jump into that, I just want to tell you a couple of reasons why I think this could be a great opportunity for you, or why I know it could be if you decide that you want to try it out. Number one, I think people are more in tune with health and wellness than they have ever been. I mean, think about the last couple of years. Think about the major crisis in our country. It's a health crisis, and there's all kinds of other crises, but health is a big deal. People are more open to natural, healthy, holistic options than ever, and we have something for everyone. This is not a company or product that's gender specific or age specific or race specific or location specific. These are products that if people have a gut, if they breathe air, if they have skin, if they're consuming food, our products can help them, because just about everything people struggle with can be traced back to the gut and gut health. Now, if you don't believe me, that's okay. I thought probiotics were stupid when I first heard about them, and now I take them every day. But I want to challenge you later tonight or tomorrow. Go Google the most random thing you can think of, like toe fungus or I don't know. I can't even think of anything super crazy and weird, but like knee pain, leg pain, head pain, depression, anxiety. Google something. Google random stuff like toe fungus, and then Google something like depression or anxiety or allergies, sinuses. Google those things and gut health, and see how many thousands and thousands of scientific and medical articles are linking the two. The reason Plexus is so effective is that it's helping people with a vast majority of issues. And they're seeing progress because we focus on healing from the inside out. So that's one reason this could be something that's good for you, because it's relevant. It's something people want right now. It's something people are open to, and it's not specific to any type of person. Another reason is that social selling is the future, guys. It is one of the fastest growing and highest paid professions in the entire world. You can Google that one too. You can't really argue with statistics like that when in the last 2 years, the rest of the economy has kind of gone, but our industry has grown. In fact, Plexus has stayed steady, and people are asking what we're doing at Plexus that's helping us not drop after the last little bit. Companies that never thought they'd go through this social selling model, well, guess what happened? The world shut down. All of a sudden, people start marketing on social media, because marketing, network marketing, mouth-to-mouth marketing has been around for a long time. Our company just chooses to put its advertising dollars in the hands of its brand representatives. I mean, you got to kind of give them props for that. Instead of paying a whole bunch of money to put an ad on the Super Bowl, they put money in the hands of people like me. So I can represent them, and I can pay for therapies for my autistic child. I can pay the extra bills that the youth ministry paychecks do not cover. So instead of paying Michael Jordan or people like that to wear their special shoes, Plexus pays the advertising dollars back to real people like me and you. What I also love about this industry is the fact that you can get out of this whatever you want. However much value you bring to the company, that's what you can reap in return. That's biblical, the law of sowing and reaping, just saying. There's no income caps. Whoops. So a lot of my friends that do this business with me are teachers. Think about teachers. Teachers can teach harder and harder and harder, and they can be the best teachers ever. They're not going to make you more money. You can add more and more and more and more value. You can get more and more degrees, and you're still capped on what you can make based on what your state says. I live in Texas. Texas says you can make so much money. North Carolina says you can make less money. Our school district, we have some incredible teachers that put so much value in. They're capped at what they can make. That's not how it is. That's not how it is in Plexus. You get a payout directly by what you are doing. So I'm going to move into some of the reasons that people think they can't do this. Spoiler alert, you're wrong. But what I want to challenge you for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to get you out of here as quickly as possible, like I promised. But just imagine what life could look like. What if, humor me, if you were bringing in an extra $1,000 a month now, would that solve some problems for you? Now, some of you have bigger problems than that. A lot of you, $1,000, that's a mortgage, some car payments, a few dozen eggs with today's inflation. Just kidding, kind of. For me, as a minister's wife, and $1,000 was an answer to prayer because I wasn't able to work a 9-to-5 job anymore after Finley's diagnosis and everything I had to do to take care of her special needs. And we had a lot of bills that we weren't able to pay on just my husband's salary, because ministers don't get paid a lot of money, and he's not even the main minister. He's the youth minister. Not different in value, but definitely different in pay. I remember one Christmas, I wanted to give good gifts. Gift giving is my love language. Those of you on here that know me know that words of affirmation and giving gifts are my love language. I love to give gifts. If you've ever shown up at my house, you have left with gifts. It's like, here's a Plexus gift. Here's a Plexus gift. I love gifts. But we didn't have the money to pay for Christmas gifts for people. And so I searched the Facebook marketplace before it was really a thing. And I drove all over town buying used gifts to give people for Christmas. Used toys to give my kids. I bought one toy set that I thought they would love, and then I sold it because it was worth a lot and I could make more money to buy more gifts. It was tough. We also had some major expenses and there was no way to stretch the budget. So for us, $1,000 or $3,000 would have been and was a big deal. That's where my dream started. I would also challenge you to think, what if just on some crazy hair, I could bring in an extra $5,000 a month? Like, would I still live in the same spot? Would I drive the same car? Would my kids go to the same school? Would I live in the same state? What would I do? What would I be able to give to? What would I do for the church and the community? And then get real crazy if you want and think, what if I made $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month? You guys, I know people, I have hugged people in real life that make that kind of money. So what I want to tell you is people are going to build it. Why not you? But the first thing you're going to have to do in deciding to build this is face those fears, those objections, those skepticisms head on. You're going to have to fight them because they don't have to hold you back. But if you don't address them, they are going to hold you back. So you got to think some of these things through. The number one thing I get, I don't have a testimony. That sounds a lot like I don't understand the products. That sounds a lot like I need my own results first. I don't have my own testimony. I don't understand the products. I need my results first. That sounds a lot like when I get blank results, then I'll consider telling someone, right? You guys know that on the table this month is $300 if you grab 3 people to start their journey with you and they're helping them get healthier. You're making $300. There are some people, maybe even watching this or the recording, that desperately need $300 this month. That could buy a lot of Christmas. But because of this fear right here of, I don't know enough, I don't understand enough, I don't have a jaw-dropping testimony because I'm brand new, that's going to hold me back. You're not going to try. Here's what I challenge that with. What you're actually saying is, I need belief in what I'm offering someone in order to put myself out there. That's completely legitimate. I totally respect that. You need to believe it's going to help them before you offer it to them. I think you're right. You do have to have belief. But here's what I'll tell you. You can build your belief in a lot of different ways. And it's not just your own testimony. You can build your belief while working on your own testimony. And you say, Aubrey, that's not true. I can't share something if I don't have a personal testimony. Baloney. Let me challenge you, because who knows a real estate agent? Me, right? Okay. Some of my best friends are real estate agents and they're very successful. How many of them have personal experience living in the homes that they're selling? How many of them have a personal testimony for the house they're selling? Like none, unless they happen to be selling their own house. They don't live in the houses to tell you if they're a good fit for their client. So how do they know? Well, number one, they find out what their client needs. That's what we do. We find out what their health struggles are. What do they need? And they say, they find out a couple of traits of the houses. And they say, my client needs this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms, this much square footage. They need a fence in the backyard because they have a psycho dog. This house seems to meet those needs. Maybe I'll offer them the opportunity to take a look at this home. Y'all, that's exactly what we do with Plexus. We find out what people are struggling with, what's keeping them from feeling their best every day. And then we look at the products and say, okay, this person struggles with A, B, C, and I know that A, B, and D are absolutely gut health issues because I looked it up. So if I know they're a gut health issue and I know that Plexus addresses gut health issues, I can simply say, hey, listen, I don't know if this would be for you or not, but lots of people are having results over here. Maybe you should take a look so and see what results people are having. And so you can build your belief in the products by reading other health testimonies, by borrowing belief from whoever shared with you, someone along the way, someone shared Plexus with you. That's why you're here. And you can use that person's story. It's completely okay to say, hey, Angela, listen, I'm so new at this, but I'm really excited about what these products are going to do for me because here's what it did for my friend Molly. I'm thinking this could be an answer for that issue of yours. Are you open to taking a look at it? So many things that don't have to do with your own testimony, but you do have to have a little bit of belief, like faith, like a mustard seed, right? In the products. And then you have to be actively working to build that belief. And that's something you can do. Every single person on here can start with a little belief and build that belief in the products and what they can do. And you know what's really interesting? People never ask me about my testimony. They don't. Like, I've been doing this for 8 years. They don't actually ask me. I have an incredible health testimony. I used to only poop like twice a week. I used to have headaches every single day. I was so puffy. I looked like the marshmallow cream puff man. Like, I was so inflamed and puffy, but people don't ask. They don't care. What they want to know is, can I trust you and can you help me? That's all they have to know. If you have integrity, they know they can trust you. And if you can show them what we've got, they know you can help them. In fact, they probably have issues they need help with that aren't your issues. I help people that have diarrhea issues. I've never had diarrhea issues. If I have diarrhea, I'm excited because I'm like, wow, I'm pooping lots. This is great. I feel good. But I mean, people just, it doesn't matter what issues you have. So if they're waiting to see my results, they're going to keep suffering. Build your belief. You totally can. I don't have a testimony. I don't know enough. That's not a reason to hold you back. Okay. Another one I hear a lot, and I get this. I don't have time for that. I work a full-time job. I heard that today. Actually, I heard senior year's pretty busy. I don't think I have time for that. I can't do 90 to nothing with Plexus, but I've got a full-time thing, or I'm homeschooling my kids and that takes all my time. Hey, more power to you. I'm not going to pretend to think I understand what it's like to homeschool your kids, but I promise I understand what it's like to be busy. And I'm not looking for people who want to do Plexus full-time. That's the amazing thing about this business. You can work it part-time, just not part of the time. Okay. You don't need to work 50 hours a week during Plexus. Hallelujah. Okay. You can work your business in very part-time hours if you want to, as long as you're consistent and intentional. It's not a massive amount of time that you need. It's a massive amount of intentionality. So I have people, here's what I tell people, depending on your goals, how quickly you want to get to that 3,000, 5,000 a month, depending on how quickly you want to get there, that's going to determine how much time you realistically need to put into this. If I'm working with somebody who needs to build a significant income, I'm telling you, you want 15 to 20 hours a week. That's what you need to aim for. But you know what? You can throw that in wherever. That can be, people find the time in lots of different places. You can get up an extra hour early. You can stop going to lunch with people every day. When I used to work full time, I would go to lunch with people a lot. I would go have lunch in the break room and talk to people. Like, you don't have to do that. You can take that time. If you have carpool, you can work in the carpool line. You can stay up an hour later. You know where I found a lot of time? I might be stepping on some toes here. Watching TV. When I decided I was really serious about Plexus, I quit watching TV. I still would watch like 1 show, 2 shows a week with my husband because that's what he wanted to do, but I didn't watch any more TV. I used to watch a lot of HGTV, y'all. tons of HGTV. I don't watch it anymore. I found a lot of time. People think they don't have time. I challenge you to consider you do have more time than you think you do, and you don't need a ton of time to work this business. You can show me 20 minutes pockets throughout the day. Get to work in those 20 minutes. You can really make a difference. Third thing, another thing people say, and another really valid reason that people think they can't work this business. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be a salesperson. The whole idea of I got to follow up with people, that makes me feel really icky. So here's what I'll tell you. I get that. I definitely never want to be perceived as sleazy, slimy, or pushy. Never. But am I willing to be persistent? Absolutely. Here's why. Okay, like if my neighbor's house was on fire and I saw it smoking, I wouldn't worry about what people thought. As I took off across the street in my house coat, my bedroom slippers, I got some really cool Plexus shiny slippers, y'all. I would not care. I would go tell my neighbor, your house is on fire. I wouldn't care if my hair was in a towel. Maybe he did answer the door and he was like, yeah, the house is on fire. I know. Thanks for letting me know. I'll take care of it. And then I keep watching the fire and it kept growing. And I'm thinking, he's not putting the fire out. Let me make sure he understands what I'm saying. Neighbor, your house is on fire. I've got a water hose. I can help you. I'm not worried about being perceived as pushy. I'm here to provide solutions. If every single person in your life feels their best every day, you don't need this business. It's not for you. But if your circle is like most of ours, you guys, we are the sickest, most medicated, most overweight, most stressed out nation on the planet. We're so stressed about health. We're so stressed about money, and people are desperately praying for relief. And I feel very passionate to talk to them about what we have because I know it can help them. I see how much it's helped you guys, and I see how much it's helped me, and I know it can help them. That's also why you pick a company that aligns with your passions. I couldn't pick a company that sold bags. I have a whole lot of organizing bags in my closet. I love them. I want to buy them all the time. I'm having to hold myself off from buying more of them because I have no place to put more of them, but I love them. But I couldn't have been passionate about that. I couldn't have followed up about that and been persistent about that. I have some makeup. I know it's hard to believe. I do have some makeup. I buy it from a company. But I couldn't have been passionate about following up about people buying makeup. It wouldn't have emboldened me to follow up and really pursue people and try to help them. It has to be something that I'm passionate about to get me to follow up. And I've had people tell me so many times, Aubrey, thank you for being persistent and not pushy. I'm ready now. And that's another thing, y'all. They always come around. When they know what you know, they're going to make the same decision that you did. It's just your job to continue to share in a way that is genuine and loving and others focused. You don't come across as pushy when you're focused on how can I serve them? No, I'm not after a sale. I don't need you to do this for me. That's not what we're here for. We're here to serve and bring health, hope, and happiness to people who genuinely want more out of life. That's the last thing I'll share with you tonight is that people are so afraid of being that girl. I was. What that means is they're terrified of rejection. We have this love of man and we want people to love us. I mean, I'm an Enneagram 3. I'm a yellow. I want everybody to love me all of the time. I get it. It is. I would be lying if I said this isn't something that I struggle with. Of course, I want to be accepted. Of course, I want people to think that I'm doing a great job. Of course, I want influence with people and people's respect. Was there a fear around, oh my goodness, Aubrey is going to be one of those people. Look at her. Yeah, I had a fear of that. Do I have to still deal with some of that? Yes. But here's what I have discovered. People are going to have opinions regardless. If you homeschool, they're going to have an opinion. If you send your kids to school, they're going to have an opinion. If you're raising your children too strict, they're going to have an opinion. If you're too loose, they're going to have an opinion. If you eat sweets, they're going to have an opinion. If you don't eat sweets, they're going to have an opinion. If you're super disciplined with your nutrition choices, they're going to have an opinion. If you breastfeed, they're going to have an opinion. If you don't breastfeed, if you have a C-section, like, people are always going to have an opinion. Whether you worship in a house or a building, whether you private school or public school or homeschool, whether you're affectionate with your spouse in public or you're not. And what I've learned is the people who are doing more than you, they're not usually the ones that are going to take time to criticize. It's just the people that are doing less. It's the people who aren't trying to be better. It's the ones that feel insecure or fearful or whatever. They're the ones that are going to be rude and mean and criticize. And you and I have the option to not receive it. So what I would challenge you is this: you're the only person who can pay your bills. You're the only person who's got to live your life. You get one trip around the sun. So my hope is that whatever decision you make, it's made because that's the decision that you feel is right, and you pray about and you believe that God is telling you, and not because it's fear of what somebody else is going to think, or that somehow you won't measure up. Because a lot of those haters will end up coming back after you're consistent and saying, you know what, I respect you. I didn't understand it. I still don't understand it, but I respect you. And then they ask for information. They're like, can I have some information about that stuff? So I want you to know, if you're scared, it's okay. I was too. If you're fearful, it's okay. I was too. I still am sometimes. If you feel like you have zero skill set, that you don't even know where to start, that's okay. That was me too. But what we've got here is some of the best systems in the world that we have created, and as a result of our willingness to fail forward. Also, I didn't mention this, but Plexus is a debt-free company. Some people have so much fear around network marketing and this industry because they hear these stories of companies who are here today and gone tomorrow. We've all known companies like that. We're over a $500,000 company, and we are debt-free. When you owe people nothing, you're able to operate out of freedom. And that's what our company does. So there's a million reasons why you should be doing this, guys. It's wide open. We have less than 250 top level leaders, diamonds. I mean, that's basically still ground floor. So here's the thing: whether this is for you or not, that's for you to decide. I'm not here to judge. I believe that anybody who's willing to learn some skills, practice them, build some belief, fail forward, get back up, try again, sweat a little, roll up their sleeves and put in some hard work, I believe that you have the ability to create the life of your dreams. And I believe that's what we were put here to do. So I'll stop there. If you have questions, reach out to whoever invited you or to whoever sent you this video. And I'm just so glad you were here with us tonight. I finished by 9. Woo, woo, woo. I'm going to stop the recording and answer questions for a minute or two. But I didn't want this to go over, so we're going to stop it right now. Let me see how to stop the